The visuals become increasingly dystopian as we see animations of how the weapon would operate. The mirror, floating in the silent void, would slowly tilt on its axis, catching the sun's rays and funneling them into a tight, searing needle of white light. This beam would pierce the Earth's atmosphere, not as a gentle glow, but as a pillar of fire that could boil the water in a city's reservoir in seconds, ignite entire forests instantly, and turn steel skyscrapers into molten puddles of metal. The scene highlights a particularly dark ambition of the Nazi planners: the psychological solar terror. They believed that the mere presence of an artificial second sun hanging over an enemy nation, capable of incinerating their homes at any moment, would force a global surrender without the need for a single ground soldier.
We see the engineers at the secret research facilities in Hillersleben working late into the night, their eyes bloodshot as they try to solve the terrifying physics of extreme solar focusing. They are no longer astronomers, they are architects of a cosmic furnace. One of the most haunting images in this scene is a close-up of a high-ranking officer's hand holding a magnifying glass over a small model of a city, watching as a tiny beam of sunlight begins to blacken the toy buildings. The narrator notes that while the project sounded like science fiction, the Nazi regime treated it with deadly seriousness, pouring millions of marks into research that they hoped would allow them to play God with the very light of the universe. The scene ends with a view of the sun, no longer as a symbol of life, but as a gargantuan, unshielded nuclear reactor that the Nazis intended to harness to burn away any resistance to their 1,000-year Reich.
The camera descends into a cavernous, high-ceilinged industrial hall, where the air is thick with the smell of ozone, hot metal, and industrial grease. The soundscape is dominated by the rhythmic, deafening clang of heavy presses and the hiss of steam. We are now inside the secret manufacturing heart of the project, where the theoretical sun gun begins its transformation into a physical reality. This scene focuses on the staggering, almost impossible engineering challenges required to build a structure that would be the largest man-made object in history. We see massive sheets of ultra-lightweight sodium being rolled out. The material is so volatile that it must be handled in specialized vacuum chambers to prevent it from exploding upon contact with the moisture in the air. The narration dives into the titan scale of the construction. German engineers realized that traditional steel was too heavy to be launched into orbit, leading them to experiment with advanced alloys and the idea of metallic fabric. We see stunning 3D blueprints of the mirror's skeletal structure, a web of thousands of interconnected hexagonal frames, looking like a giant metallic honeycomb. Each frame was designed to be foldable, like a high-tech umbrella, to fit inside the nose cone of a rocket before unfurling in the vacuum of space. The visual detail captures the sheer madness of the logistics. To create a mirror 3 kilometers in diameter, the Nazis would have needed to launch thousands of supply rockets, a feat that would have bankrupted even a thriving economy. Yet the planners in this scene work with a feverish, blind devotion to the Führer's impossible deadline.